Welcome to Celeb Scene Central. Apple TV Plus' Time Bandits is past its halfway point, and things aren't looking great. Based on the 1981 movie of the same name by Terry Gilliam, it follows a history buff named Kevin, Kyle Tuck, who meets 5 individuals called the Time Bandits, who have managed to steal the map of the universe from the Supreme Being, Taika Waititi. Now on the run, the bandits hope to rob history blind, and they take Kevin along with them after his parents are turned to coal by a demon in service of pure evil, Jermaine Clement, who wants to claim the map for himself. So far, the 6 episodes that have been released have not been the strongest in terms of writing, humor, pacing, or character development, making the viewing experience rather mixed, to say the least. However, Time Bandits' most recent episode, Munsa Musa, addressed all those issues. While not enough to save the show, it is the first episode that justifies this remake and promises interesting character development in the remaining 4 entries. What happens in Munsa Musa? Following Episode 5, Georgian, Kevin and the bandits pass through a mysterious void space before arriving in the middle of the Sahara Desert down one member, Judy, Charlene E. Unsure of how to find her, the group decides to press on and eventually come upon a caravan headed by the King of Mali and the richest man in history, Munsa Musa, Hamd Animation. Penelope, Lisa Kudrow, the team's self-appointed leader, concocts a plan to steal from Munsa, which fails spectacularly. Fortunately, Kevin appeases Munsa by telling him stories, prompting him to give the bandits gold and ask Kevin to accompany him to the city of Cairo to meet with its sultan, Pax Asadi. There is some tension between Munsa and the sultan since neither will bow before the other, but Munsa thinks of a compromise where both men will bow not to one another but in reverence to the Almighty. As Kevin bonds with Munsa Musa, Penelope falls into a slump, and the rest of the bandits are left to their own devices. Widget, Roger Jean Sengiumva, the inept cartographer, wanders into the desert to try and find another time portal. One night, while looking up at the stars, Widget has an epiphany and realizes that the map is based on the stars, allowing him to successfully predict where another portal will open. Meanwhile, the kindly strong man, Biddelig, Rune Tempt, bonds with one of Munsa's attendants who is in love with one of Munsa's wives, Queen Inari, Andrea Solange. In trying to help the attendant, Biddelig comes to terms with his feelings for Judy. Finally, the resident actor, Alto, Tig Murphy, does what he can to cheer Penelope up, which leads to Kevin and Munsa setting up a heist for her. Penelope realizes what is going on and is touched by Kevin's gesture, so instead, she steals rubies from the Sultan. After saying goodbye to Munsa, the bandits head towards the portal, and Kevin flips through his history book. He is shocked to find that the information regarding Munsa's trip to Cairo has changed to account for their arrival, meaning that the past can be changed. However, this causes him to miss the portal with the rest of the bandits. It does reopen a few seconds later, but Kevin's location is currently a mystery. Meanwhile, the Supreme Being reveals that he has captured Judy and intends to use her to retrieve the map so that he can destroy the Earth and rebuild it from scratch. Why does Munsa Musa work? The main reason why Munsa Musa succeeds compared to every other episode of Time Bandits thus far is that it gives the characters some much-needed development. The bandits have been struggling for a while now given that all of them are virtually the same character. They're quirky, incompetent, and possess one trait to make them distinct, such as Alto's love of acting or Judy's attempts at being empathetic. Munsa Musa allows the characters to explore new sides of themselves, making them feel more three-dimensional and like a proper team. Alto steps up when Penelope falls into depression, showing true concern for his fellow bandits and leadership qualities of his own. Widget's ability to link the map to the stars shows his insightfulness and ability to notice patterns. Biddelig's time with Munsa's servant demonstrates that he is a much better empath than Judy because he's able to connect to others through shared experiences. Even Penelope gets a bit of growth as she thanks Kevin for trying to cheer her up. Kevin, however, is the true star of the episode. Like the bandits, he had been struggling to find his place on the show. Sometimes Kevin was the smart kid who could help the bandits thanks to his knowledge of history, but other times, the series made a point to show that Kevin didn't know everything. He tried to be the moral compass but also had no problems consorting with criminals in the episode Prohibition if it meant he could go to a party. Munsa Musa fixes this by allowing Kevin's passion for sharing facts and stories to be plot-relevant and helpful. He demonstrates the ability to think quickly under pressure and spin his knowledge of history into interesting stories rather than boring lectures. His attempt to cheer up Penelope is also sweet, showing how he's come to view the bandits as his friends. Tuck has long been the most entertaining actor on the show, and it's wonderful to see him given a chance to experience some wonder at traveling through history. In terms of how the episode utilizes the character of Munsa Musa, His relationship with Kevin mirrors perhaps the most well-remembered segment of the original film, where Kevin, Craig Warnock, formed a bond with King Agamemnon, Sir Sean Connery. Like Agamemnon, Munsaw acts as a surrogate father figure for Kevin and provides the kid with a much-needed boost to his self-worth. He does this through some well-chosen words and by setting a good example not just for Kevin, but for the younger audience that the show is aimed at. His scene with the Sultan demonstrates the importance of temperance. Rather than continuing to butt heads until things escalate into a fight, Munsaw is wise enough to find a solution that lets both men save face. This is an important lesson that demonstrates the importance of thinking before acting, as well as compromise over conflict. Munsaw also encourages Kevin to continue his quest to save his parents rather than remain with him. Even though Kevin's parents aren't the nicest of people, Munsaw stresses the importance of acting when you have the power to help others. Hopefully, the rest of the show will be able to maintain the same level of creativity and heart that its most recent episode successfully showcased. Time Bandits is available for streaming on Apple TV Plus in the US.